Star St. Joseph's guard Xzayvier Brown has entered the transfer portal. Dion, that is notable in itself. He's one of the better players in the A10 last season. A high quality guard who can do a number of different things. Averaged 17.6 points, 5.2 boards, 4.3 assists per game last season. Quality numbers and a pretty good league. There would be, it feels like, more of a buzz about his entry had it not come on the heels of Porter Moser, Oklahoma's head coach, hiring St. Joseph's associate head coach, Justin Scott, to be an assistant for him. It appears that these are related. The rumor is that Brown would follow Justin Scott to Oklahoma. But let's talk about Xzayvier Brown and his game first. What should people know about him and what he can do on the basketball court?
I like his game a lot. I think this is going to wind up being one of the more underrated portal additions. Great addition next to Nigel Pack, by the way. Um, High turnovers would be the only thing. Four assists to three turnovers ratio. I'm rounding up and down, by the way, but still. He can shoot the three ball well, 40% as a freshman, 35% as a sophomore. A little bit of an uptick in volume there. Gets to the basket well. I say this a lot, 2 years of eligibility. I think that's a big one. The 2 years of eligibility, I think, is massive for Porter Moser. This is a big, big, big get. 17, nearly 18 points a game, 5 boards, 4 assists. That's no numbers to scoff over.
No, he's been very productive for both his freshman and sophomore season. St. Joe's. I think one thing too, he hit two threes per game each of the last two seasons. He's a career 37.6 3-point shooter. So you get that combined with an 86% free throw shooter. Like you know he's going to knock down some shots. Add in the playmaking, add in the fact he rebounds for his position pretty well. Like he's somebody who I don't know if he's going to come in and be option one for Oklahoma, but I say him and Nigel Pack together look pretty nice. And now Oklahoma appears to be the landing spot again. Rumor that he's following Justin Scott to Oklahoma. Let's talk about his fit there a little bit more because it would be next to Nigel Pack you would expect as a starting backcourt. How does that look in your mind? What kind of impact can he have? Can Brown have for the Sooners? And where does he stand like the SEC pecking?
I think it kind of depends on the growth he makes. It could look clunky. It could look really good. I think those are two guys that can score the basketball at a high rate. Brown's going to have to develop a little bit more of the playmaking game next to a Nigel Pack, though. Nigel is an all-time bucket. Like, he's going to get his. And you don't have to worry about that. So can Brown, though. But if he can develop a little bit more of the playmaking, I think that's a great fit. If he doesn't, I think they could get in their way a little bit.
Yeah, it's trying to fit somebody who I think we've seen is better suited to be a true off-ball guard in Nigel Pack with somebody who is more of a combo guard in Brown, right? And that certainly can work. And Pack's got enough playmaking chops to where you can kind of two combo this out and have two reliable ball handlers as long as Xavier Brown is the one with the primary creation duties, right? So I'd be interested to see like this. The fit would be about him being more of a playmaker than a scorer, like a playmaker who can score as opposed to a scorer who also does some other stuff. Simply because Nigel Pack isn't suited to do the other stuff. Like he's suited to shoot. You almost need Xavier Brown to be the Isaiah Wong, right? To him,
Uh,
and that's not a. If that's what you're getting for Oklahoma, which one is not a bad comp too for Xavier Brown's game. But if you're getting that, I think you'd feel pretty good about potentially finishing in the top half of the SEC if I was Porter Moser.
We interrupt this sleepers video to talk directly to you, our loyal listener. Have you ever found yourself watching us two idiots thinking, hey, I wish there was a very easy, small way for me to show a token of my appreciation for all of their hard work on all these videos I love to watch? Well, now we have just the way to do that.
Thanks to the beautiful folks over at Underdog Fantasy. They are helping us out this month, presenting a lot of the content coming out this month, giving you a chance with an amazing offer that you can use using our promo code that Gregory will tell you more about.
Yeah, so college hoop season's over. But we got like big time golf tournaments. The NBA playoffs are coming. Baseball season's underway. There's still a bunch of sports on. There's still a bunch of ways to play with Underdog Fantasy. Promo code SLEEPERS. As a new customer, you can get up to 1,000 bonus credits plus a free pick. It's one of the most fun ways to play. It's a great way to support us. And on some actual like non-ad read stuff, talking genuinely here, really helps us, because if Underdog loves us, if we get a lot of people to sign up, they're going to help us continue to bring you the content that you love. Show your support. Join Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code SLEEPERS. Get up to $1,000 in bonus credits and a free pick.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I also think what I like about the Wong comp, there was a lot of moments where that ball went to Wong's hands and he did his thing too, which is what Brown's going to need. He's going to need some element of like, let me go get mine as well. So I really like the Wong comp for this backcourt. The problem is, and it's not a problem, Oklahoma can still do it. Miami had a lot of other scorers on that team too. They had a lot of other guys that can go get some.
Yeah, there was a Jordan Miller that was incredibly vital with his secondary playmaking. I think Oklahoma's going to need to have somebody step up in that role as well, but certainly like the fit there. If for some reason it does not end up being Oklahoma, that is the rumor. Fully expect that to be the case. I will be. I don't have any inside information, but I would be stunned if Xzayvier Brown is not playing for Oklahoma next season. But if he's not, what other kind of teams do you think he would fit best with?
Um, Miami.
Miami needs some guards.
Miami needs some guards. Florida, though. Seriously, like I think Florida in the Walter Clayton style role, where you had success at the mid-major level, you make that jump. You have 2 years left. We're hoping you're going to develop. I'm not saying he is Walter Clayton, but you develop a little bit more into that role. People questioned Walter Clayton's ability to play point going into this year, right? He proved he can. Maybe the same can be said for Brown. I think if you put him at Florida next to Xavier Lee, which we discussed on an earlier video this morning, that Xavier Lee, if he hypothetically were to go to Florida, that commitment looks a lot better to me with Xavier Brown there as well.
Yeah, I'm always interested when let's play the scenario out where Xavier Brown entered the portal to follow Justin Scott to go to Oakland, right? Let's say that's what's happening. I'm always interested by guys who have that plan. If they get in the portal and they're like, oh, like I could go to the national champs, or I could go to like Arkansas, Kentucky, like when the bigger schools come and you start being like, oh, I wonder if I know it happens, but I wonder if like you get in there and your kind of mind opens up and you're like, oh, there's lots of other options for me out
Right.
here.
Yeah.
I
I mean, mine would, by the way. If I hit the portal and thought, yeah, I'll go to Oklahoma, and then all of a sudden, like Kentucky's gone, it's like, yeah, but listen, I still probably will, but best believe I'm going on visits.
You got to take advantage of the visits.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Unless Porter Moser and them are flying me to Vegas on their own dime, like I'm going to UNLV.
Porter Moser and Oklahoma seem to be okay with the bags. Jeremiah Fears did not visit Oklahoma when he committed, and it was a little bit later in the process.
Yeah.
But it was something sight of unseen. I would have fully expect Xavier Brown to end up at Oklahoma. Again, that seems to be the rumor of where things are headed. But I don't think there'll be a shortage of options for him should he want to entertain those. That's how good of a player he is, and the kind of impact I think he could have for the Sooners next season.
You think he could be a fierce style?
Not the same. He's not going to be a top 10 pick, right?
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, he's not going to be a top 10 pick, but he can. I think he can play a lot of that role.
That's fair.
He's not going to do it as well, but I think you're going to try and pencil him into the more ball dominant kind of role and let Nigel Pack be the really good off ball guy.